Juices in here. What's up, YouTube? Y'all come on in for a second. Let's have a conversation. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. I hope you all are celebrating, cooking, grilling, do what you do. Shout out to all the veterans. My husband actually happens to be one. And as you guys can see today, I'm really just chilling. I'm not on anything fancy. I'm here at the golf course with my husband early this morning. And then from here, after this tournament, we're going to be going home and throwing some things on the grill. But I wanted to talk about reparations a little bit this morning. And I'm trying to wait on a few more people to tune in because y'all know me. I always say something to spark conversation. You guys know I have a way with words and I have a way of saying things and putting things that make people not only respond, but sometimes there are some people that get offended by the way that I say things. And then there are some other people that, be like, oh, you know what? She's dead on. She's absolutely right. Now, first of all, I want to put out a disclaimer and say, regardless of whatever I put up on my page, because I have been getting attacked by some, white people in my comments on Instagram and on IG that are from the Republican Party. This is probably about the fourth one since I've been talking about what has happened in Buffalo and say that no, it is not all white people. I want to say that all white people are not racist. The entire Republican Party is not racist. But when Donald Trump said drain the swamp, he was also talking about rhinos in the Republican Party. I don't understand why so many people in the Republican Party feel some type of way about the word reparations, or when we go to talking about economically empowering black communities, when they all know that Donald Trump had the platinum plan. They all know that Donald Trump, right, on his second term, made an offer of $500 billion specifically for black businesses. It wasn't for Asian businesses. It wasn't for white businesses. It wasn't for Latino businesses. It was $50 million in this platinum plan strictly for, right, black businesses. Ask me how I know. I know I was a part of it. Go do your research, roll out, pull up the video, all of that, right? Donald Trump, who was the leader, the president of the Republican Party, not only recognized that there was a need to empower black businesses and black communities, right? But was acting on that need. So when I say, hey, wait a minute, he's right. I always felt that he was right because people just automatically assume that because I was a member of the Republican Party that I was against, reparations or economically empowering black communities. And that's just not correct. And one of the reasons why I did not mind working with the Republican Party, because I knew I was a voice that they could hear that may help them give them a better understanding, right? But where I am now is I don't even feel like explaining anymore. There's no need to explain. I don't feel as though there should be a reason to explain. If we just saw, right, Cory Booker, Raphael Warnock, John Ossoff, Senator Tim Scott, Ted Cruz, right, Mark Rubio, all of these people in Congress, some of them support, but all of them voted for an anti-Asian COVID-19 hate crime bill because 8 Asians were shot and murdered in Atlanta, Georgia, then there is no reason why, right, those same provisions and protections shouldn't be offered to black Americans after. It should have happened a long time ago. But let's just use the shooting that just happened in Buffalo not even a year later. right? Like, we can cut the shit at this point. Just, it should be no. Why do we need it? The same reason they need it. The same reason they got it. Like, when we hear, and we're talking about under this current administration that just acted, the same Congress that just acted. This was just a year ago. We ain't talking about no 400 years. We're talking about something that just happened. Okay? Bill S 937. When I mentioned, okay, let's make this happen for Black America, you know, these particular white people in the Republican Party that have attacked me, I'm talking about, on social media, and you can go back and look at some of the arguments. It's all of a sudden, Black people kill each other all the time too, and some Black people too. We know that. Like, you're not telling me nothing I don't know. I don't know why, some white people feel the need when we're talking about a mass shooting that took place in Buffalo, New York, and 10 of our elders being shot dead while shopping for groceries, right? Why do you feel the need to say, well, y'all don't do nothing about Black people killing each other all the time anyway? Okay, these are two different issues. It's almost like saying, well, hell, it don't matter, if a white boy killed 10 Black elders because y'all kill each other all the time anyway. What sense does that make? Asians kill each other too, I'm quite sure. I didn't hear nobody putting up that argument about that. I don't like that. You want us to act like what just happened don't exist because Black people killing each other all the time anyway. Okay, let's talk about why Black people are killing each other. Because I can guarantee you the majority of time that there's a crime involving two Black people is not, I'm just finna shoot you and kill you because of the color of your skin. Motive. It may be robbery. It may be jealousy. It may be envy. It may be a defense situation. It could just plain out be hate, but it's not, I hate you because of your skin color. Okay? Does it make it right? Absolutely not. It does not make it right. But we have to deal with all of these issues. And then another thing I want to talk about is, why are Black people killing each other? When I'm talking about, reparations, or for a better word of it, economically empowering these communities, we know that if we want to reduce crime, we have to reduce poverty. If you want to reduce crime, you have to reduce poverty. I'm not saying it is right, but when we are talking about survival, right? Different, certain areas, underserved, communities that lack opportunity. Some of these communities right here in America is like third world countries. Like our Congress, they'll see a need to send millions and billions of dollars over to other countries, right, to fund them because, they're poor or they need protection or whatever, but won't do the same for their own. That is an issue. The issue is this: if we have an additional, on top of the billions we've already sent to Ukraine, $40 billion to send to Ukraine, then why can't we send that $40 billion to these communities that are riddled with crime? They're riddled with crime because of what? A lack of resources, lack of opportunity. They say idle mind is the devil's workshop. These kids are not at prestigious summer camps during the summer. They in the streets. These children ain't in school learning because the teachers don't want to teach them. And now all we seeing in school right now, come on, man, Joe Biden talking about how you got $40 billion to send to Ukraine when we got a shortage of baby formula. And now you talking about removing free lunch from schools, K through 12, if they don't allow boys in the girls' bathroom. You got $40 billion to send Ukraine. But you ain't got $40 billion to protect our children while they're in school. You got $40 billion to send to Ukraine, but you ain't got $40 billion to protect the children being shot dead in the streets of Chicago, since y'all like to bring that up so much. You know, a killer is a killer. It don't matter if he black or white or whatever. The communities need to be protected regardless of who's doing the harm. The communities need to be funded. The schools need to be funded. Single black mothers that they keep calling out saying that they need to have access to abortion. No, they need to be funded. How can you offer $450,000 a piece to illegal immigrants just for crossing the border, but then when a black mother gets pregnant and needs help with her baby, you're going to tell her, we'll pay for your baby to be aborted? No, we need funding. We need opportunity. We need access. We need equality. And I'm not talking about the kind of equality that aborts our children, our babies, or turns our children gay. That's not the type of equality we was fighting for. That's not equality. For some reason, people, in my comments, some white people, not all, the ones that have been attacking me over the last few days, feel like, they had the audacity to tell me that I'm the next Al Sharpton, that I'm just like the Black Lives Matter movement, that all I'm pushing is racism. We want reparations so bad, we got reparations when we was looting during the Black Lives Matter movement. We got our reparations from Nike and Gucci. Like, for some reason, some of these white people be racist and don't know they racist. Like, if you believe in your mind that me saying there is a need to economically empower black communities throughout the United States, just like Trump did in his platinum plan, right? But they kiss his ass. That's the great white hope. So they gonna praise him. But don't be a black woman in the Republican Party speaking up for the black community, because then you wrong, right? Unless you trash in the Democrat Party and not doing nothing at all to empower your people. Now, if you a black person in the Republican Party and you create a whole movement, right? Let's just say like Blexit, the black exit, and everything you talk about is black people, it's okay. Until you actually start advocating on behalf of black people, then it's a problem. This ain't all talk over here, bruh. This is not all talk over here. For some reason, I have to, there are some people that's racist and don't even know they racist. Like, if you think in your mind that me as a black woman speaking about economically empowering black communities and somehow you tie it to Black Lives Matter and Nike and Gucci and looting, first of all, what make you believe that all black people outside looting? Is it the color of my skin that make you think I'm just automatically gonna lose some shit? Because I can look at you and think, based off the color of your skin, that you finna shoot some shit up and kill a whole bunch of people. You want to compare, and the one white boy who did this doesn't speak for the entire white race. We get that. Just like all black people don't speak for me. But there is a difference. There is a difference when a white person, decides to go kill a bunch of black elders, right, who are in church or at the grocery store, then, the boys on the street killing each other, shooting each other in the gangs, it's all wrong, right? Because all lives matter, let y'all tell it. But there is a difference. And the difference is that the majority of the time, for one, well, the main difference is that black people ain't killing each other because of the color of their skin. Let's just start there. Let's also go on to this, how you might be a racist and not know you're a racist. You might be a racist and not know you're a racist if you believe that an Asian community deserved $50 million in an anti-hate crime bill after 8 Asians were shot and killed here in Atlanta, but you don't believe the black community is deserving of the same. You just might be a racist. Using the excuse of what the FBI statistics show and all of that, none of that is relevant. But why is it so much crime in these communities? And what do you want to do about the crime in these communities? Because we notice that there is no crime in wealthy communities. There's some, but not as much as it is in impoverished areas. Like when I go home or when I go see my rich white friends who are Republican, I'm not worried about my car getting broke into. I ain't saying it can't happen, but I'm not worried about it. When I go to the park right near my home, or when I go to the park right near some of my rich white Republican friends or wealthy blacks, because I know a lot of black people that got money too. Like all of us not in need. So when I'm talking about economically empowering the black community, right, people think I'm asking for me. And a lot of us have been blessed, but that don't mean that we can't advocate on behalf of the people that have been left behind. Everybody had a chance to make it. Who ain't had a chance to make it? Everybody got a chance to make it, but it's about equal opportunity. There's not the same opportunity, right, in inner city areas, in underserved communities than there are in those that have more money, more access. My child may not just want to be on the football team. What if my child is interested in science? What if my child is interested in STEM? What if my child is gifted in another area, but they don't have access to that type of learning, to that type of education, to that type of opportunity because of the zip code that they live in? You might be a racist and not necessarily know you're a racist if you believe that it's okay to send $40 billion in additional in U.S. tax dollars over to Ukraine, but you refuse to help the people in need right here in your own country. You just might be a racist or a sellout. I don't know. And I've never been the type of person to be against helping someone else. I've never been that person. I'm not against, helping other countries, right? But I am against putting those other countries before your own. That's just like me as a parent. My child need help, but I'm going to look at somebody else's child I don't even know and help that child before I help my own. No, I'm going to help my own, and I'm going to help that one too. For some reason, there are a lot of people that believe reparations for us is a welfare check, free abortion, and Section 8. No, those are things that keep you stuck and tied to the Democrat Party. We've had this conversation before. I told you all before I met my husband, I was in a relationship with a man for 11 years. 11 years. This man had money. I'm talking about money. Could have been blessed me, putting me in a position to start my own business, right? But this is how he kept me coming back. If I had a bill due, he would give me the exact amount for that bill, because you know why? He knew in 30 more days that bill was going to be due again and I was going to have to come back. Welfare system is the same thing. We gonna give you $800 worth of food stamps for you and your 6 children just for this month. The next month you gotta come check back in. This is how we keep you voting Democrat. Never we just gonna give you $450,000 like they do to illegal immigrants crossing the border. Never we just gonna give you this one-time grant of $150,000 to get you on your feet, so you can be able to provide for your children, maybe start a business or something like that. But let you be a foreigner coming here from another country. Why you think we don't own none of the gas stations in our communities? You ain't see no poor, homeless Asian people on the street, but somehow they got $50 million. And I ain't hating, but I got to use it as an example. These are American tax dollars. You telling me that as a member of the Black community and somebody who pays taxes, because I do pay my taxes, you are telling me that the only thing that my community can get in return is free abortion and food coupons and Section 8, as if these things are some type of gift from God. First of all, learn to grow your own food. This ain't about, Republican, Democrat, none of that. This is just about what's the right thing to do, because Republicans and Democrats voted for the $40 billion to go to Ukraine. Republicans and Democrats voted to give, the COVID-19 anti-Asian hate crime bill, okay? Republicans and Democrats voted, right, for the anti-Jewish hate crime bill that was just submitted on May 21st. 7 days after 10 Black elders were murdered in Buffalo. We ain't even got nobody introducing no legislation on our behalf. And I'm calling them out like, I don't get it. Kwanzaa Hall responded on social media, but ain't responded to Nan texting me asking for a meeting. Like, stop with the play. They want to fight over who gonna get credit for introducing it. So they want to be quiet. They want to act like they ain't talk to me. Killer Mike, all of them. So they can go run behind somebody. Hey, let's hurry up and do this. It doesn't matter who does it. Let's just get it done. The people know the truth. Everybody know who advocating. Everybody know who really fighting. You can't get it passed without Republican support anyway. So you need me. You need me. Because God is giving me favor, right, in the ear of the Republican Party. And you're not getting nothing passed without Republican support. So even if a Democrat do try to take the idea and steal it and run with it and introduce it, you still can't get it passed without Republican support. We have to be on every side. We have to be everywhere. It's just like the scales of justice. If these are the scales, and this is the Republican side, and this is the Democrat side, and we fighting, right? We fighting on behalf of Black America, and we want things to happen. It has to be, both sides have to agree. We need the support of both sides in order to get any type of laws passed on our behalf. For you all to believe that all of us as Black people supposed to be Democrat, this is what's going to happen. You gonna tip the scale and tip it over. Who do you think is in the ear if there's Republicans in these behind the door meetings? Who do you think is advocating on your behalf, helping them understand, yeah, I know it's a lot of Black on Black crime, but at the end of the day, that ain't what the fuck we talking about right now. That ain't what we talking about right now. Don't talk to me about, and we gonna deal with that, but the way we deal with that is we have to better the living conditions. Don't make us think it's okay that this white boy just went in there and killed 10 of our elders while they was shopping for groceries. And then the next day, y'all talking about monkeypox like y'all think y'all funny. The governor up there on the ground talking about a virus. We picking up on all of that. And then there's a mass shooting and you lie there by the children and my heart go out to the children and all of that. And then Kamala Harris ride her gravy train up to New York to go to the funeral, and then you giving a press conference about taking away guns when you should have been giving a press conference about a Black anti-hate crime bill and $50 million for that community. that needs a new grocery store, that needs better schools, that needs homes rebuilt, that need to be revitalized, that need more opportunity for the children that are growing up in that neighborhood. That's what you should have been talking about. The Asians get murdered down here in Atlanta. I'm getting hot now. I got to open the door. The Asians get murdered down here in Atlanta. We don't hear nothing. We don't hear nothing about, oh, we need to take away guns. No, none of that. Next thing we know, they had an executive order signed, law pushed by Congress. I'm talking about it only took 7 days. Pete Sessions, Republican in Texas, 10 of our black elders murdered. He introduced an anti-hate crime bill for the Jews because the boy mentioned Jews in his manifesto and they already got it passed through the House. And ain't nobody introduced nothing on our behalf. Now, all I can do is advocate. I'm not in Congress. Remember, they told y'all Nikema Williams was y'all congresswoman, Atlanta, huh? I'm just asking. What? See, this how we gotta wake up, right? For how all these people in Atlanta keep getting in office and they ain't even from Atlanta. Do y'all notice that? Do y'all notice that a lot of people that's getting in office and getting in these Democrat, because they supposed to represent us, positions in the state and local level, do you all realize they're not even from Atlanta? Where is Nikema Williams at right now as far as advocating on your behalf? Because one thing I can say, at least John Lewis would have been fighting for something. I may not agree with his position on abortion, but John Lewis would have been fighting for our 10 elders that got murdered up there in Buffalo in the grocery store. What is Nikema Williams doing for you, Atlanta? Erica Thomas down there at the Capitol having a fashion show with the Housewives of Atlanta 10 days after your elders got their head blown off for trying to buy some damn groceries. Roland Martin doing the Tootsie Roll and doing the butt. All on his doggone live stream and ain't demanding no legislation on behalf of our people. These same people, Rashad Ritchie, all of this tap dancing they doing. D.L. Hewlett, they put out a post on their social media. Oh, don't forget, this white supremacist kill. That's it. We ain't staying together. Y'all not using our platforms to demand no legislation like the Asian community got. And then gonna turn around and tell me Black Lives Matter? When? How Black Lives Matter? Y'all still mad at me for not agreeing with abortion. You want me to agree that our children need to be aborted? That's what you want? Because even if you're doing it, you should have enough sense to know that you don't want a leader leading you in that direction, right? It's like this, okay? Let's just say, I don't know, we're going to use an example. Let's just say somebody smoked crack. Let's just say we have a child, right, that's strung out on crack, right? We're not going to go buy the crack for them. You're not. We got free crack pipes, free abortion, free 30-day food coupons, free Section 8. And those supposed to be reparations for Black America. How you going to get ahead? How do you feel as though that's a reparation? How you going to get ahead? Huh? Because the minute you start making a certain amount of money, you can't even get welfare no more. They want to leave you stuck. You can't make that transition, because I've done it. Make that transition from welfare giving you a certain amount of food coupons every 30 days to going to getting a job and living right on the cusp. I'm talking about right on the median. And then getting cut off. You can't even make up the income. You can't even make up an income. Let's say you do get a part-time job or something, you a mama working at home, and you making $500 a week. And then they cut off your welfare. Them $800 a month coming out of that 2 bands. Now you only making $1,200 because you still gotta buy the food. You still gotta pay rent. You still gotta pay light. You still gotta pay gas. All you gotta do is be within $1 difference. How you gonna get ahead? Section 8, they want to know who in your house, how much they make, what the man doing in the house. Is you married? Oh, he can't live here. He ain't on the paperwork. Everybody know 2 + 2 = 4. How y'all think welfare is reparations for Black America? Like it ain't a whole bunch of trailer parks on welfare throughout the United States. That ain't just for us. It's some poor white folks too. What's the problem? Help me understand it. This is U.S. tax dollars. It's U.S. tax money. They are in Congress voting to send U.S. tax dollars everywhere but right here in America. That's a problem. Everybody should have a problem with that. People that have an issue with reparations or economically empowering these underdeserved communities, what I need you all to understand is that our tax dollars are going out anyway. They're paying them out anyway. If they can send millions of dollars over to Pakistan for gender study programs, have us, funding foreign wars that don't even have nothing to do with us. Why can't we fund and fight against the wars that's happening right here on our land? This shouldn't even be a black or white or a Republican or Democrat issue. It should just be what the right thing is to do. If you scared to go in certain communities and you a white person, what you need to do to make that community like yours? We've seen gentrification happen. Let me tell you something. I grew up in Summerhill with my grandmama, People's Town, Zone 3. I've seen that whole area revitalized. Barely any black people over there now. They'd clean up an area and move the black people out and move themselves in. Why we can't just clean up these areas for some of these black communities? Y'all say y'all want to get rid of crime. Why do you think most people commit a crime regardless of skin color? If y'all want to talk about facts, y'all want to talk about studies, y'all want to talk about research, why do you think the majority of people commit crimes? There are crimes of survival or crimes based off of some type of addiction or mental illness. Why so many young black men in the streets selling drugs? Why? Could it be because there's no opportunity? Could it be because they got a felony and they got out of prison and don't nobody want to give them an opportunity? Could it be that they uneducated? Could it be that they are not aware? Why is there so much crime? Why is there so much crime, right? In these communities that you all despise, that you are always talking about. Redlining is another issue. Come on, man. They talk about systemic racism and everything that has happened over the man. Y'all went in there and gave the Asians $50 million in the anti-hate crime bill based off of hate they endured in the last 11 months. Hey, man. Hey, don't. All I did was read the bill. I don't need to hear nothing else. I don't want to hear nothing else. I don't want to hear nothing else. Jewish Americans anti-hate crime bill introduced and submitted by Pete Sessions, a Republican in Texas, because of COVID-19. All we heard during COVID-19 was how it disproportionately impacted black people. All we heard during COVID-19 was how black people were dying. All we saw during COVID-19 was how all of our black businesses were closed because they weren't considered to be essential. All we saw during COVID-19 was black people affect. Listen, man, my aunt just passed away. They canceled our family reunions. COVID. Scared to death. Don't want nobody coughing on you. Don't want to be in nobody's space. How? So COVID-19 hits. The black community is disproportionately impacted. This all we done heard over the news the last 2 years is how we dying at a higher rate than anybody else, and all of this stuff about COVID, right? Y'all don't want us in your restaurants. You don't want us in your stores. I'm standing in line. Everybody looking at me crazy because I ain't got a mask on. I'm like, bitch, don't you got your mask on? Shit. Hell, long as you got your mask on, then you should be protected. Don't worry. Like, don't come trying to treat me like it because I ain't got a mask on. I'm trying to go to church. Now, y'all know I believe in God. My mama was a preacher and all that. I know the word. Ain't nobody got to lead a word in my comments. None of that. I was raised by a preacher. I know the word. My mama and daddy was a preacher. My mama was a preacher and a prophet and a missionary and all that. I know the word. I done read the word. I know the word, right? I get that. I say, okay, I'm going to go to church. Invited to church. They email me talking about they got to give me a COVID-19 test and a mask before I even come into church. Man, listen, man. Listen, man. I'm not coming up under nobody's subjection. I got to wear a mask to go praise the Lord. You got to give me a test. Then we going to church because everybody else done submitted and got a COVID-19 test and a vaccination. I'm sitting up in there trying to praise God. Can't even breathe. Y'all know it's hot. Everybody shouting, hooting, hollering. You want me to stand up, clap, throw my hands up, wave from side to side. I can barely breathe. Got me in church looking like I'm it. How? How? Somehow, COVID-19 disproportionately impacts us. Somehow, all of the COVID-19 testing sites we see popped up where? In the parking lots of the black churches, in the parking lots of the malls, in the black communities, right? I'm just saying. We're all black people disproportionately impacted by COVID-19. You got Bill Gates and his wife on video talking about they gonna make sure we get the vaccine first because we deserve it. So after all of this that happened with COVID-19 that disproportionately impacted black people, the Asians and the Jews get hate crimes and reparations. But all we get is to die and the vaccine and our businesses shut out. But you used us, though. See, it's an issue. It's an issue. And if you are white and a part of the Republican Party, you can't deny these facts. Explain to me how the black community was disproportionately impacted by COVID-19, practically destroyed, but somehow in y'all legislation, y'all managed to write about the hate endured by Asian and Jewish Americans. Y'all ain't talked about none of us that done lost our loved ones. You ain't talked about none of us that done lost our jobs. You ain't talked about none of us that's been discriminated against because when we came in your restaurant, even me up in New York, you took my money but told me I needed to sit outside. Bitch, what? Ate your food and called the bank and reversed the transaction the next day. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Ate your food and called the bank and reversed the transaction the next day. Tell you something else made me mad. Them same Asians. Them same Asians, right, that y'all say deserve those 50 million in that anti-hate crime bill. The minute COVID-19 hit, I'm talking about the Asians that got rich off the black communities, because remember, they restaurants in our community. What they do? Put a chair up, cut you off at the door, put a piece of plastic down hanging from the ceiling, stick their hand out with their glove on, take your money, give you your food, stick your food back through the plastic window. They don't even want you in the store. Huh? COVID-19 gone, they still won't let you in the store. But I bet you they'll take your money. Don't even want you using the bathroom. They'll let you go outside and piss on yourself. They'll take your money. Don't listen, man. Listen, man. Who you playing with? Who they couldn't wait to get them niggas out they stole. Go to the West End right now. One of my favorite little hot wing spots right inside the West End Mall. They had their little tables and chairs out where you could at least sit down, right? Let's just say you had a bunch of bags and you was rushing and you just wanted to sit down and get off your feet for a minute while they made your food. You go to them Asian restaurants right now in the black community, baby, they still got them tables and chairs stacked up against the wall. They don't even want you in there. Play with me. Don't play with me. But then take your money. Huh? And tell you to stand outside. Won't even let you stand in there for 5 minutes to cool off in a 90-degree, 100-degree weather. Y'all playing with me. Huh? Don't tell me black people don't have a reason to get upset after they used us. They just used us. We got a reason to be upset. And if you are about equality, and if you are about, what's right and doing the right thing, then you will be standing with us. And if you can't stand with us for whatever reason, just get out the way. I find it disrespectful that Republicans who have watched me, right, and seen how I move and supported me would even try to align, right, what I'm doing with the Black Lives Matter movement. Like, that's disrespectful. That in itself is disrespectful. And why is it that anytime someone mentions, right, justice or real equality for Black Americans, all of a sudden, you're a race baiter? What the fuck? Ain't that why you got me over here? Huh? It's okay if I bait the race when you having an event and you need some inclusion, right? It's okay if I bait my race to come to your boring ass shit and ain't nothing but all white people there and you need some black faces in the crowd. It's okay if I race bait then, right? It's okay if I race bait when I'm talking about how the Democrat Party has destroyed Black America, but it ain't okay when I race bait to actually advocate on behalf of Black people. You got to make up your mind. See, you picking and choosing. But the word says that there is no favor of persons. Right is right and wrong is wrong. You got to pick and choose, right? You don't have a problem with me race baiting. You have a problem with what I'm baiting my race for. So if I'm baiting my race, right, to become, inclusive in the Republican Party, it's okay. Right? If I'm baiting my race to say, hey, y'all, vote for Trump, he the one, it's okay, right? If I'm baiting my race to say, hey, y'all, support this Republican candidate, I know what they saying, but this person is for us, it's okay, right? But it's wrong if I bait my race to say, y'all stand up and demand economic, right, empowerment for our communities. Y'all stand up and demand that they protect Black life. Then it's a problem. Then it's a problem. But there's no problem if I'm baiting my race to abort our race. Oh, Democrats, let's get back on y'all ass, right? Because I rocks with the Republican Party. Hey, I'm going to call it out. I'm going to stand true on what I stand on. I rock with the Republican Party. I'm going to tell y'all what's going on, but we're going to get back on the Democrats too. So, Democrat Party, it's okay if I bait my race to abort our race. Yeah, because y'all ass ain't no better. Because if my people going to ask me today, Angie, who we riding with, it's going to have to be the Republican Party. It's going to have to be, we can deal with the issues of racism, right? We can deal with the issues of them not understanding the importance, right, of us economically empowering our communities, because eventually they're going to get it. Because if enough of us become Republican, like enough of them became Democrat, right, then we'll have the power to implement the changes in the laws that we need. This is what I'm trying to get my people to wake up to see. If they gonna ask which party we going with, if you gonna ask me, it's gonna have to be the Republican Party. I can deal with, right, racists, because we've been dealing with that forever. But I can't deal with these people sexually transitioning these children and aborting these full-term babies. That shit, I can't deal with that. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with these people using us to push their agendas and then not advocating for anything on our behalf. Y'all saying we need our own party? That's fine. We need to start. We need to work on that. We need to build that. Ice Cube was talking about that on his live the other day. Y'all want to do that? I'm with that. But until then, what we gonna do? Until then, what we gonna do? Because them old racist white Republicans, they dying off. You know, there is a certain thing as Frederick Douglass Republicans, right? A lot of us are abolitionists, right? A lot of us have conservative values, but we've been scared because we don't want to, you know, seem like we align with racism. Well, aligning with racism is allowing these people and being a willing participant to black genocide. That's aligned with racism, right? I can deal with you saying you don't want to give me no money. I can't deal with you saying you don't want my children to live. Right? I can deal with you saying, nah, get it on your own. But I cannot deal with you saying that my son is a fucking girl. I can't deal with that. Y'all, they just gave $40 billion to Ukraine. And the latest information circulating in the media is that Joe Biden is going to remove funding from public schools grades K through 12 for free lunch if they don't allow boys in the girls' bathroom. And listen, we can be independent. Ain't nothing wrong with being independent. But even as us being independents, we gotta vote. So in myself, I'm registering independent, right? But the vote, we still have to control where our vote goes. We can be independent, right? And if there's a Republican candidate and there is a Democrat candidate, being the independent, we still have to decide where our vote is gonna go. And right now, our vote has to go towards the policies that are best for us. Don't listen. What I'm trying to tell y'all about this whole racism thing is we deal with racism every single day. Some of y'all deal with racism and don't even know it. Some of y'all working for some rich racist people, white people y'all ain't never even met. But they cut your check. Huh? Y'all go give y'all people to money to racist people that don't like y'all in the black community every single day. Every single day. Let me ask y'all a question. I'm going to give you a perfect example. We can use COVID-19, but I'm going to give you another example. Buffalo, New York, right? I lived in Buffalo my first 15 years of my life. Been back and forth to Buffalo my whole life. Right there where that Tops happened at, right? There are several gas stations and convenience stores in that area. When that shooting happened with Tops, I ain't see none of them foreigners, right? Owners of those gas stations or those convenience stores out giving back to that community. But they'll take your money. Huh? You gonna go spend your money at that convenience store with them same people that got them cameras and them big ass mirrors and follow you all around the store, don't even like you, ain't even gonna put your money in your hand. You might get them a $10 bill, you got some change, they don't even want you touching them. They gonna throw the shit down on the counter, won't even say thank you or nothing. You might go to the nail salon and get your feet done, baby, and be sitting up in the chair and they talking about you like a dog the whole while you're there. You giving them your money. Y'all deal with racism all the time. You know, it's a lot of people that don't like us. It ain't just white people. It's the way that we have been defined, right? By stereotypes, by the media, right? Because there are some black people that don't even like black people. I know y'all don't want to get me started. Gave up their black card a long time ago because of the way that we are portrayed. Right? Before all of this stuff about white supremacists was in the media, every time there was a crime, what face did you see attached to it? A black face. Right? We have to understand, yeah, they think we are criminals. Yeah, they think we are dumb. Yeah, they think we are worthless. Why? Because this is how the media has portrayed us. Just like many of us, right? If you ain't never been to Africa, and all we've been seeing is videos of Africa being a poor country, right? And everybody over there starving and nobody having nothing. In our mind, we gonna believe that this is what Africa really is until we see something different. So we deal with racism all the time. We can stand up to racism. We can fight racism. We can deal with that. But can you deal with laws that sexually transitioning your children? Until then, we got to control our vote. I'm not saying don't vote, because, yeah, we do have to vote. It's important to vote. And I hope and pray to God that they getting all of this stuff cleaned up when it comes to elections. However, who we voting for, we cannot continue to vote for people just because they look like us. I don't care if you black no more. That's what I'm saying. I care if you black, but just because you black don't mean that you for me. Because it's a lot of black people that's in office right now that say they for us, but they voting and sponsoring anti-hate crime bills for Asian Americans without even having you in mind. How is Cory Booker and Raphael Warnock and Tim Scott, right, co-sponsors, not Tim Scott, but he voted for an anti-Asian hate crime bill? How did you sit and write this legislation, sponsor this legislation, read this legislation without even thinking about black Americans not one time? How did you even support, right, or sponsor this legislation without including black Americans? Because first of all, we should have an anti-hate crime bill against humanity. But since we can't have one against humanity, you all have to bring out individualized groups, because we got the Asians, we got the Jews, we got LGBTQ. Then what about black/African Americans? How? Based off of what we know to be factually true, how do you submit an anti-hate crime bill for any other group after COVID-19 besides black Americans, after you use black Americans to basically describe, perpetuate, right, the dangers of COVID throughout the entire world? So we get to suffer psychologically. We get to die from COVID. Because remember, we had the highest numbers. But somehow after all that, the Asians and the Jews get an anti-hate crime bill and provisions. I don't want to talk about nothing else other than the fact that these people wrote and passed legislation on behalf of a minority community because 8 of them were shot dead by a white man. Then listen, y'all, this the crazy part about it. After Asians been in our communities since we were born. If you black, you grew up in the black community, Asians been in your community. They haven't been living amongst you, but they've had their businesses in your communities. We supported them. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. We supported them. If you are Asian and you have a business in the black community, you have been supported by that black community. We supported you. Not only did we support you, we supported your family. The majority of y'all got rich off of black Americans, the blacks in the communities that you live in. A white man came to Atlanta and killed 8 Asians, so they say. And all of a sudden it was stop Asian hate. All of a sudden it was black people hate Asians. We didn't shoot. We didn't shoot and kill. It wasn't a black person that shot and killed 8 Asians in Atlanta, Georgia. How 8 Asians? Did what I'm telling y'all, man, about the media and the finesse. 8 Asians get shot dead by a white boy who go on a rampage, and then all of a sudden it's black people hate Asians, and it's all of these crimes about black people hating Asians, but ain't nan one of them packed up and moved their business out of our community. If we hate you so much, and if there is so much crime to the point that you all needed, right, an anti-hate crime bill to protect you all from us, get your motherfucking business out of our communities. If I believe in my mind that white people way to silence me, y'all, we're going to get back to this, man, because they done completely got me off track. I'm at the golf course, but listen, we're going to have a conversation about this, and we're going to do a panel because I want to hear from Democrats. I want to hear from Republicans. I want to hear from independents. I want to hear from white people. I want to hear from black people. Where are y'all at? You know, to me, in my mind, it's almost like if you have 3 children, right? Let's say if you're a parent and you have 3 children, but you decide you only want to provide for one. So you decide, okay, everybody today, I'm taking all of the kids to McDonald's, we going to eat, but you only buy a Happy Meal for one of them and the other 2 have to watch that other child eat. This is about equality. You cannot sit up here and say that it's okay for our Congress to pass a bill to give reparations protection, right, to the Asian community after 8 of Asians were killed here in Atlanta and not do the same for black Americans, right? It should have happened a long, long time ago. That is the issue. This is about equality. I keep telling y'all, for some reason in their mind, equality is of having a right to abort our children or the right to sexual preference. That ain't the type of equality we fighting for. When Ann Coulter said on that clip that they hijacked the civil rights movement, that the civil rights movement was a black thing, civil rights was started by blacks. It was a black movement. It was about equality. It wasn't about being gay or abortion. Enjoy your Memorial Day, guys.